Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a black day for football. As you will have heard on the BBC, or as you will have heard on several websites, several news things tonight, that we've had some really sad news concerning the owner of Leicester City. His helicopter that usually ferries in between games has exploded in a ball of flames, and in the end it crashed the ground, and we don't know at the moment what happened. What we do know, it ferries the Leicester City tie owner to the games before and after the game. Now, I did the actual commentary. Well, the owner wasn't on board apparently, but there have been people that maybe but there were. It was an awful crash. We can't confirm anything. I mean, Mark says the owner wasn't on board. We can't obviously confirm any news, so we don't really want to be going there. But it really is a sad sight, really, when things like that happen. Hopefully, there's been no fatalities. It is really, really sad to see. I did the match, as you may have heard, on YouTube tonight, and I had a ball covering it, but it just doesn't seem right for me to talk about it after this sort of incident. It really is. And if there has been any fatalities, when my thoughts and sympathies will go out to those that may have died, but I'm praying and hoping they weren't anybody hurt. And on top of the news of Glenn Hoddle as well, who collapsed in a television studio and was taken to hospital, it really has put football into insignificance. Nebo was one of the directors. Well, I was just saying, we can't really confirm anything at the moment that we can hang our hats on, unfortunately. But it really is sad. It really is sad to see this sort of thing happen. Also, what didn't get mentioned on Match of the Day, there was also a Brighton and Hove Albion fan who sadly passed away this afternoon. So our thoughts go to the families of the Brighton fan also concerned. So 3 incidents today that has just piled football and the significance of it into complete insignificance. And of course, everyday life as well. Usually when I broadcast and I bring you football commentaries and I bring you FIFA videos, more often than not, we like to do it with a bit of a lighter side to it, with a bit of buzz and a bit of panache. But tonight, it's one of those occasions tonight, I'm afraid it's just not possible. Sky Sports apparently have said so. I haven't had Sky Sports on tonight, unfortunately. I've been watching Match of the Day. But if I'm sure until the reports have been absolutely confirmed, I don't really want to say anything and say that people have been on board and then it could turn out to be something different. I'm a budding journalist, so I don't want to make that mistake. But it is really sad when you see things like that. And as I say, it just pales football into insignificance. I'm now prepping for tomorrow's big match involving Burnley and Chelsea tomorrow. Absolutely Anonymous says, really sad day for football. Prayers to everybody that's been affected by today's event. And sometimes football is only a game. And I have to say, Absolutely Anonymous, I absolutely agree with you 100%. It is only a game. I mean, I have to say, as much as I loved and enjoyed commentating on the match tonight, and it was a fantastic game of football, the second half was just absolute cat and mouse stuff. West Ham hanging on for grim life, and then Leicester going for the kill, going for the equaliser, if you like, and getting that goal right at the end, and we had all that drama at the end. It just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I was unaware of what happened until about an hour or two after I come off the air, because what I normally do when I've stopped commentating, I usually sign off. I stop broadcasting. I switch off my microphone, switch off my headset, put that down, or hang it up somewhere, and I lie down and just chill out and listen to music and stuff like that, and just go into my own little world. It was the way I found out about it was through Ross Vernon. He rang me up around about 10 to 9 tonight, and I was cooking something. I was having something to eat as it happens. I was cooking some beef burgers to have for tea, and he rang me up and he said to me, "JB, there's been a terrible accident in Leicester. And that's how it all came about." And I have to say, Gary Lineker on Match of the Day, exemplary broadcasting. I've got to be honest with you. All the time he gets criticised and chastised, but what he does on Match of the Day, people don't like some of his presenting style. But tonight, he got the mood exactly right and how we were all feeling, really, because it was a very, very somber subject. You've got Glenn Hoddle sadly collapsing. The news that we know about Glenn Hoddle is that he was taken to hospital from the BT television studios in East London. He has gone to hospital. He's now surrounded by his family, his immediate family, and he's reacted well to the special treatment that he's had in the hospital. So I have my fingers crossed that he'll pull through. He's an ex-England manager. He's a legend of the game. I was old enough and lucky enough to watch him play towards the end of his career, and he was still rolling back the years in his later playing days with Swindon as player manager and Chelsea as player manager. I've obviously watched clips of him playing for Spurs when he was a player. Terrific manager as well. People forget that he started his managerial career at Swindon and won them the playoffs. He's a tremendous player. He won the FA Cup and the UEFA Cup with Spurs. He won 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup. Went to Monaco, did very well there. He was a real talented player, and looking back on his career, you think he should have won a lot more England caps than he had done, to be fair. But he was a legend of the game. And he speaks well, I think. Out of all the pundits that are doing radio and television today, I think he's one of them that I listen to, and I like what I hear from him. He's very astute pundit. A lot of people have a go at him. I think he's brilliant what he does. He was a very good England manager until he had some certain comments about disabled people, which obviously cost him his job, and he's regretted that. He's obviously regretted that, and I think that's fair play to the man. But it is really sad to see him like that. And as I said, my best wishes go to Glenn and his family, and I'm sure you guys will echo what I've just said there about the best wishes. And I really do hope and pray that nobody on that helicopter tonight was killed, whether it was a director or a member of Leicester City's board or even a pilot. I just hope and pray that there is not a loss of life in Leicester tonight after what was a very terrible crash. I've seen the footage. It is very, very difficult to watch. And it's really is a sad time. When we saw a great match before it was a fantastic match between West Ham and Leicester City. 2 teams really slugging it out. West Ham were down to 10 men and they were hanging on there for grim life. And but it doesn't seem worth talking about after tonight's event. It really doesn't. I will say that it was a joy to commentate on 2 teams battling it out, but as I say, it's not worth it. Also, Anonymous has praised me for my comments. He said, very class tribute to everybody, JB. And he echoes what I say, that everybody watching, please say a prayer tonight. Well, it's just gone 6 minutes past midnight. I don't usually broadcast live on YouTube around this time. I don't even broadcast on Facebook live usually this time, unless I've had a few beers and do something that's a bit lighthearted. It's just because of the nature of the events and what we've been through. And of course, we have to pay our respects to the Brighton fan, who sadly died when Brighton played Wolves today, and they ran out 1-0 winners. But again, it pales into insignificance because there's a family in Brighton tonight that's lost a relative. There's people that will know him who are probably best of friends with him. They've lost a best friend tonight. they're not really bothered about 3 points to Brighton tonight. They'll be more upset at the fact that they've lost a loved one. They've lost a relative. And that is more significant than a result of a football match. It just really is sad to see. And it doesn't just put football into perspective, it puts everyday life. We all have problems, we all have troubles, we all have scrapes and scraps along our life. We'll get chastised, we'll get criticised, we'll get praised. But none of it is not as... I've been through it myself. I've been through tragedy as a family. I lost my mother to cancer. So that was a personal tragedy to me. That hurt me more than any criticism could ever hurt me, because that was a tragedy. No criticism can be ever classed as a tragedy. I hear commentators on radio and television class mistakes in football matches as tragedies. They're not tragedies. Absolutely not. A tragedy is what we saw at Leicester tonight. A tragedy that was just unavoidable. The helicopter took off from the stadium as it always did. Thankfully, it went over the stadium far enough for the stadium not to get caught up in it. It could have easily fell on the stadium. There were people still leaving the ground at the time, I believe. I hope that there's no serious injuries, and I sincerely hope and dearly hope there's no fatalities or loss of life at a time like this. And if there is, and I sincerely hope there isn't, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of those concerned. You know, we do these videos. We have great banter. I know absolutely none of us will back me up when I say this. When we do the commentaries and we do the live chats and we do everything, we have a great fun doing it and we have a laugh. I'm afraid tonight is not a time for laughing. Tonight is not a time to have banter and have fun, because there's going to be people tonight that will not be laughing. They will be upset. There will be tears. Glenn Hoddle and his family, praying that they pull through what Glenn has just been through today. That was a horrible thing to happen to a legend of the game. The helicopter crash at Leicester was a terrible, terrible tragedy, and it looked really, really bad. It looked a bad incident from what I've seen of it. Really, really bad, and I'm deeply shocked by what's happened tonight. And of course, the family of the guy, the family members and the relatives of the Brighton fan who sadly died today at the Amex whilst watching Brighton play Wolverhampton Wanderers. Again, our thoughts go to the family of him, family of that supporter. Well, I'm going to finish tonight with this thought. Tomorrow, I've got to do Burnley against Chelsea, and it will be live on the YouTube channel. But whatever happens tomorrow, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not a tragedy. It's not. Nobody will die tomorrow if Burnley lose. It's not important. What is important is life, and life in general. And there are going to be people tonight involved in certain there's going to be families who are going to be begging that there's no fatalities to anybody that's been involved at Leicester tonight. And we all wish Glenn Hoddle the very best. And hopefully we wish him a very speedy recovery, and we hope to see him back on television and back well, more importantly, very, very soon. It has been a horrible day, not just for football, but in everyday life, but as a whole. But it means more than football. It's life in general. And it's just so sad. Tonight is not a night for laughing. Thank you very much for watching. thank you to Mark, and thank you to Absolutely Anonymous for their comments and fair-minded opinions tonight. It's and echoing what I've said, it's really nice to know. If you do want to comment, there is the comment section below. Please if you want to wish Glenn Hoddle well, morning, and wish everybody well, and pay your condolences to the Brighton fan who died today. Please do it, but please do it respectfully. No nasty comments, because they will be deleted and you will be reported. It's not right on this particular video to start putting horrible, nasty comments about people that have been through a torrid time. Glenn Hoddle's had a torrid day today. He's in hospital, and it's sad. Our thoughts and prayers go to those that were involved in the helicopter crash after the Leicester game, and our thoughts go with the family of the Brighton fan who sadly died at the Amex today. Today, in more ways than one, has been a black day. Thank you for watching. From me, JB. Good night.